Hello everyone, welcome to a new video of your Polyglot Academy. Today it's lesson 48 of our series on how to learn German up to a B1 level in 1 month, and today we're going to talk about conditional subordinates. Now, we already talked about conditional sentences and conditional subordinates with the conjunctive 2, so today we're simply going to talk about this broad topic, which is also very important to understand, because you use conditional subordinates every day in your life in order to express conditions or hypothetical possibilities. Now, the secondary clause expressing the hypothesis is introduced by wenn normally, meaning when, but also if and every time that, or by falls, in case, in which. Sometimes, if the secondary clause is in first place, you can omit wenn and add dann or so, which means then or therefore, in front of the main clause. And this is something you should be familiar with. We use wenn or falls in order to introduce a conditional subordinate, and then in order to continue the sentence with the main clause, you sometimes just omit wenn or falls and you add dann or so to the main clause. Before getting into that, let's consider the two cases we have while talking about conditional subordinates. We are either talking about real hypothesis, or we're talking about a possible hypothesis, or about a real hypothesis, which is not happening at this moment. Now let's consider the sentence. Wenn du mehr Sport treibst, wirst du super fit. If you do more exercise, you'll become super fit. And if you would observe the sentence, then you can see that it's basically made of the two parts. We have the subordinate, wenn du mehr Sport treibst, and then we have the main clause, wirst du super fit. Now, because we're talking about subordinates, and because we're talking specifically about conditional subordinates, we have a condition which is established in the subordinates. So if you do more exercise, introduced by then you will become super fit. And in most cases, the consequence of this condition is in the main clause. And this is pretty simple. We have the condition and then the consequence. And it's a real hypothesis because if you do more exercise, then you will become super fit. So it's a natural consequence, and it will actually happen if you do more exercise. And because of that, we're talking about a real hypothesis. Now, let's consider a possible hypothesis. The only thing that changes is the tense of the verbs we're talking about. In this case, we have a hypothetical condition. Wenn du mehr Sport treiben würdest, wärst du super fit. And wärst du super fit is the hypothetical consequence. So if you would do more exercise, then you would become super fit. So in order to become super fit, you would do more exercise. It's not about doing them, it's about the willing to doing them. So it's an hypothetical condition. It's not real, but it's possible. And that is the thing that distinguishes them. Only the verb. The verb is really the only thing. And you can see it in the English translation. Would and would. So the verb is the only thing that changes. Now let's compare them. Wenn du mehr Sport treibst, wirst du super fit. Wenn du mehr Sport treiben würdest, wärst du super fit. Now, seriously talking, the only thing that changes is the probability of the event happening. If you say, wenn du mehr Sport treibst, wirst du super fit, then it's probable that the event of happening it, so the fact of becoming super fit, is probable. It's more probable than in the second case, because otherwise you wouldn't use the conjunctive 2. Now, to sum this up, when the hypothesis is real, then we can use the presence, or the presence is going to be preferred, as we already saw in this case. We're saying wenn du mehr Sport treibst. That's simply present simple. However, when the hypothesis is only possible, then we're always going to use the conjunctive 2. And this is also why we talked a lot about the conjunctive 2. So, I hope you understood everything. Here are some exercises to complete this lesson. Try to complete the sentences with wenn or falls, depending on the context, and the verb in presence or conjunctive 2, depending on the hypothesis we're talking about. Is it a real one? Is it a possible one? Try with these exercises and write in the comments the solutions so that I can correct them and so that you can understand whether you understood the topic or not. Other than that, thanks a lot for joining this lesson, and if you have any questions whatsoever, just write a comment. And other than that, have a nice day. See you soon.